Welcome back to my channel. I'm Ifeoluwa Olusanya and I'm glad you're listening to me today. Our topic today is a bit interesting as it relates to a lot of people, even though not everyone admits it. Why are people unhappy in their relationships? Why are we unhappy in our relationships? Well, to begin with, we were never designed to be happy in relationships. Human beings, just like every other species, evolved for evolutionary fitness and not for romantic satisfaction. Sounds weird, right? Therefore, a lot of dissatisfaction is the result of urges people have that they believe will make them happy, but in fact do the opposite. There's a popular idea within goal setting, the idea that you should strive after everything you want. No doubt, this is an improvement over apathy. Going after what you want is better than wandering through the world indifferent and pessimistic. However, what happens when the things you want are the things that hurt you? What happens when your urges don't correlate with what will provide genuine happiness? Is that because your urges were designed for simpler times, like the desire for sweets, or because your urges were never designed to make you happier in the first place, like adultery when you're in a loving relationship? It is very important that we evaluate our wants. If you aren't setting goals and actively pursue them, that's square one. But I suspect that those listening to me right now, you're all interested in self-improvement, and so mentioning that you need to set goals won't be an issue. But if you're the one who has set your goal already, the next step should be evaluating your wants. These urges you're chasing after, are they going to fulfill you, or will they just leave you as empty as before? I'm not trying to say working to improve your dating life is a lost cause. I just want us to know that some people search for happiness in other people when they would actually be happier alone. You shouldn't set your goals with the naive mindset that after you get this particular thing you are after, that will be the end and it will grant you everything you ever wanted. I believe people need a more sophisticated approach to goal setting that starts with what you want but goes beyond that. Deliberate goal setting also evaluates your wants themselves, deciding whether they are worth chasing after or if your wants are appropriate, figuring out how far it is worthwhile to chase. During this process, following your heart is also very necessary. There are obvious areas of life where people control their urges. When someone goes on a diet or avoids laughing during a serious discussion, these are very, very good examples. But while there are some areas where people express self-restraint, there are also other areas where society sees it as a virtue to stop thinking. In many parts of life, and especially relationships, following your urges even when they don't make sense is not just undeterred but celebrated. Every romance movie celebrates the heroine which follows her heart and ends up with Prince Charming. But for every movie ending, there are dozens of women who stick with an abusive spouse because they love him and want him to change. Similarly, every story of the successful entrepreneur or athlete encourages people to follow their dreams, but with every successful story, there are many more cases of people who missed out on the quieter happiness, keeping their passion as a hobby while they worked on the career that they could actually be the best at. I know some people might come at me for this, especially the staunch believers of following your heart, but I disagree. I think that whenever you follow your heart, you should follow your brain as well. There's no reason you can't chase after what you want, but you need to evaluate what you want carefully so that you don't get tricked into dead ends. We have discussed whether to follow your heart or not, so now follow your brain. Instead of following your heart solely, I think you should also follow your brain, evaluating your urges carefully so that you can get both what you want and make sure that chasing after it won't burn you in the end. So now say after me, I will follow my brain. Of course, you should follow your brain too. I think chasing after the perfect man or woman will lead to relationship happiness. It often encourages people to chase more physically attractive or exciting people who aren't necessarily going to be interested in you, or when they are, perhaps aren't even the best partners. Follow your brain means redefining what's perfect for you. Instead of chasing a person who has no flaws on your checklist, find someone who is attractive enough, fun, and will love you. I think chasing after a perfect career will lead to career unhappiness. It often encourages people to chase incredibly competitive fields where the chances of success are low to impossible. Following your brain also means redefining what the perfect career is to you. Something you enjoy and can be exceptionally good at. So good at that you can dictate the terms of your life. Just like stuffing your face with chocolates will result in you feeling fat and sick. Chasing after every desire isn't the best route to happiness. The solution is not to become distant and cynical to every dream you have. Instead, you have to look at those dreams carefully to see that you're not distracted by the most colorful pictures when what you really want is sitting somewhere in the corner. Truly, following your brain can't always give you the best results, but I strongly feel following your brain is an ultimately more satisfying way to live. Thank you very much for listening. I really appreciate those that take their time to leave a comment at the end of it all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll meet again tomorrow. Stay tuned and glued.